Welcome to the Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me for part 3 of the kitchen install. There has been much debate about the location and the orientation of the hobs. I'm going to have them this way, going as many people have wanted it. I'm not 100% sure if it's the right thing, but I mean, in fairness, I can always change it. This can always come out, and if I realise that I'm fed up of having the screen that way, I can always change it. So I'm going to put it in that way purely because there is a bit more tolerance on the board, and I'm worried that if I had just 11mm as a border, even if I supported it from underneath, that's probably not going to be enough. So I'm now going to cut out the hole for the hobs to go into. Right, so I am now ready to mark out on the work surface. You'll see here I've cut away this edge here to take onto this side here. So now I need to mark out the cutaway for the hobs. So the instructions that come with it are useful to a degree. They give you obviously the dimensions, and they tell you that there's a radius. Obviously the edges are curved, so you need to mark out and cut a radius, but it doesn't tell you the dimensions on the sides. It only gives you the radius. So what you have to do is revert back to GCSE maths, get yourself a very sharp pencil and a variety of rulers, and there's a technique for doing this. I'll show you how it's done. But first off, I've got to mark the square out. I've now marked out my square in the kitchen worktop in order to take the hobs. And as you'll see on the plan given to me by the hob manufacturer, I need to cut a curve in the corners to enable it to take the unit. And you'll see there that it's only given me a radius of 73.5. It hasn't given me the points where the curves start and end. So there's a few ways of going about doing this. So as I said, I want my curve to be 73.5. That's what it says. It's a radius of 73.5 inside here. So what I do, obviously a radius is half the diameter, so mark out the full diameter of 14.7147, mark that up there on that axis, and then on the other axis mark out 147, and then you mount the diagonal across. Find the center point. There you go on this side. There's your center point, and then put a tiny little hole in there. And then get a screw and my little jig, which is got 2 holes in it. This is just a piece of conduit, 2 holes in it, 73.5 apart. Put the little screw in that hole there, just so it kind of stays in place. And there's a bit of give here in this hole, so just work out where the line is. It should be that you have to pull the pencil. Put your pencil in the hole, and there you go. There's the radius marked out, and then cut on the inside of that line there, and you'll have a perfect radius going onto the long straight. Right, so I've marked out the position for the hobs. I've done the 4 radiuses on the side, radii. Anyway, I've done the 4 of them. So I'm happy that the angles are right. I'm going to cut inside the line. It says to give a tolerance of 2 or 3mm. So I'm going to cut inside the line and see what happens there. I think what I don't want is for it to fall out and for it to have any strain on the laminate. I'm cutting it upside down like I've been told to. And the other bits I've cut, it actually does give a really nice line. You're not going to see any of the cut because it will be eclipsed by the actual hobs themselves. But yeah, I just want to make sure that it doesn't fall through and rip. So I'm going to do it very slowly, and then at the end I'll bring them in and cut the middle bit at the end, and hopefully then it will just kind of stay in position. That's done it. Okay. Well, the good news is it's cut on the right side and in the right way. There's a couple of bits which need neatening up, but I think apart from that, that's okay. And I cut it on the line, so I've got a bit of tolerance, so I'm going to neaten that up a little bit now. Right, well, it kind of fits. It needs to have a bit more of a clearance, so I'm going to sand it down now. I'm going to leave the jigsaw alone, sand it down, give it all a bit of a tidy up, and have a look at it. You'll see here I've scribed this end, and that's to accommodate when it goes on to the other piece. And then it's going to have this end piece putting up there. And that's why I've gone for this one over the T's or the other ones, is because I knew I was going to be able to cut it down to size, and therefore the seam between these two bits is only that, as opposed to a big fat T. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to douse all this stuff in glue. All the edges are going to be done in glue, all round there. All of this stuff is going to have glue poured into it. So that's my plan now. You'll see I've changed this a little bit crudely there. That'll be covered up, but because this unit came out more, basically I could make it bigger. So that's what I've done. I've created a bigger back unit, bigger base unit, to make the whole thing bigger, which is much better. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So once I've sorted out the backs and the sides, yeah, it will look good. So I'm just going to put this top on now and yeah, see what it looks like. And there we have it. The hobs are in. And I quite like the dimensions of that. It fits in well. Still got to attach these feet which go through. That's kind of what it looks like now. So I guess my trivet will be here. But it's nice. You could have it more flush than that. You could basically get a router and route out round the edges 6mm and drop that down a bit. I think on this particular work surface though, that is not going to leave the nicest of edges, because that's got a curved edge, and if that was going against an upright, I'm not sure that's going to be right. So I'm pretty happy with how that is. And again, with this unit here in the side there, I've just got to tuck that in a bit more. But that's a nice joint along there, so you'll see what I mean. That's what I've managed to achieve. So I'm really happy with that. So that's that little small edging strip, as opposed to the big wide T, which I didn't want. I wanted that cutaway there. I wanted to scribe that out. I'll fill this in. I've got some special stuff which I went to the fiberglass shop in Brentford for, which if you haven't been, well, you should. It's a treasure trove of amazing stuff. Yeah, so I'm happy with how this has gone. This is it looks really good. I think you know, and if I get annoyed with the fact of constantly lifting this up and obscuring my view, or from the dinette having the view obscured, then I'll change it. But I'm pretty happy with this. I'm very happy with the Hobs. So yeah, I'd say all in all, that's a good job. It's come out a bit further. I've got a bit more storage space. That can't ever be a bad thing. And now I've got this back side here. There's going to be a raised bit coming up, which is going to provide a nice back part of here. It's going to raise up probably about 50, and that's going to be the supporting structure for the hearth, for the stove, which is going to go here. And that's the view from this side. Oh yeah, that does look good. I haven't seen it from here yet. Yeah, and when the sinks go in, so we're going to start really taking shape. So that's how I mark, measure and cut a radius in a kitchen worktop. It worked really well, happy with that. So if that's something you need to do, there you go. There's a way of doing it. There's plenty others. Whilst the kitchen's been going on, there's been plenty of other stuff happening as well. So I've had plenty of things delivered. I'll go through them now with you. The first one is from, it's from one of you guys, so from Saki Bugger. You sent me a little care package, really kind of you. There's a whole load of different stuff in here. There's some glue, some Yoo-hoo. I don't know if anyone remembers Yoo-hoo. It's a bit of a blast from the past. You say it's in date. I trust you. Thank you, mate. Variety of screws, which really does come in handy on a project like this. It's just, you can never have enough screws, and there's always something you haven't quite got the right length for. So that is really kind, and some really fancy clips for the pipes. So that's really good as well. So thank you, very, very kind of you. I've also had the LED downlighters delivered. So this is them. These are great. Really low profile. These are 11mm. The bit that protrudes from the ceiling is less than a mil, so that's great. Nickel plated, 18 LEDs in there, warm white. So I'm hoping it's not the light that looks like a dentist surgery, it's the other one, the nice one. So anyway, that's the plan for them. If it's the wrong light, no big deal. I'll wait till I win the lottery, buy some more. Fine. I've also got some LED nav lights, so they can go on. I've also got, oh, here we go, this is great. New tunnel lights, but look at the design of that. I just think that looks really cool. So they're going to be mounted where the existing tunnel lights are, which are halogen, so replace them with them. They're going to be wired up independent of the nav lights, because I'm going to want them to be used maybe to illuminate the towpath for a approaching guest. So that's them. That's good. Now it's really all about the fireplace, so I got to turn my attention to that. Now the back of the kitchen unit is in, I've got something where I can mount the back of the fireplace too, so that's the plan. I've got my tiles. I'll show you the design. This is the tile, that's the main bit. This is a leftovers from mum and dad's. They redid their cloakroom, so that's the leftovers from them. These are centimetre thick concrete tiles. They weigh a bloody ton, but I need a border, so I'm going to put a black border over the top of it, up down there. Anyway, so that's good. Happy about that. There's some bonus footage of a narrowboat being delivered. We're getting a new sail away here to fit out as a new hire boat, so that's coming up right away. In the meantime, look after yourselves. Next thing for me is the fireplace. You'll have to see that on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.